Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the February 8th edition of Carolina Week, we sit down with one of the student body presidential candidates to see what sets him apart from the rest.
And later, we'll recap you on the best and worst Super Bowl commercials of 2010.
In sports, 3 seniors define the word friend, and a look at a busy weekend for Olympic sports in the Triangle area.
Weathercaster Dan McKimmey will tell us if these sunny skies will stick around for the rest of the week.
All that and a dozen donuts and a 4-mile race for a cause.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
By late Tuesday night, we could have a new student body president. Good evening, I'm Andrea Blanford.
And I'm Chris Neal. Thanks for joining us. 6 candidates are fighting for the chance to replace Jasmine Jones as student body president. SBP hopefuls and other office seekers are trying to maximize their outreach during the final hours of campaign. With just more than 24 hours until the polls close, all 6 SBP candidates are working overtime in their final campaign push, from dorm storming
You're running. I'm running.
to working the pit, even playing games of cornhole to attract attention. Candidates are making sure the student body knows who they are and why they're running. Candidate Monique Hardin said she even took to the P2P to do some last-minute campaigning.
After his surprise resignation in November as Speaker of Student Congress, Joe Levin Manning is in the race to become UNC's next student body president.
Joe Levin Manning is trying to work his way into the good graces of UNC students. After stepping down midterm from his role as Speaker of Student Congress, he faced some criticism for abandoning ship in a time of need. So now that he's running for student body president, what does he think of the students' reaction?
Just happy that I'm actually willing to step up and take this and to put myself on the line, to put myself out there to try and be the person working for the students.
After all, Levin Manning says it was the students who encouraged him to take to the campaign trail.
They believed that I would be the best student body president for the next year. And when you have so many different students coming to you and telling you that, that's not something you can just pass off. You can't just brush that away.
And not only does he listen to the students, but he's ready to take their advice. Levin Manning says his platform is unlike the rest. While he has a vision for his presidency, he's leaving most of it open in what he likes to call the living platform. Students, welcome.
Making sure that they have not just like a buy-in, but an invested interest in my campaign. Because their ideas are my ideas. And if they're in my platform, then they're going to want to make sure that they succeed, make sure that they get done.
Levin Manning says if he wins the election, the first order of business will be finding the funds and support to keep campus organizations running in a time of budget cuts. Tuition talks will come in a close second. He says it's never too early to fight for keeping costs down.
Manning says he plans to go to the General Assembly in the summer to talk about tuition if he becomes the new SBP.
And in case you forgot who's running and what each stands for, here's a look at the candidates' platforms. First up is Hogan Medlin. His platform includes a more personalized academic system for students, greater collaboration through service-based initiatives for the community, and a Carolina Monthly magazine to help you tailor your own individual Carolina experience. The next candidate is Monique Hardin, whose platform is based around strengthening relationships with academic advising and career services, better monitoring of CCI printing, and book exchange through technology and the internet. She also wants to help students get financial aid for health insurance. Nash Kuhn wants to provide aid to local businesses, bring a Bojangles to campus, and also bring back the bowling alley to the student union.
Shruti Shah plans to make student government more accessible to the student body, make student government more transparent, and push for creativity by emphasizing the importance of innovation. Greg Strompolo's platform includes bringing technology to campus that makes your life as a student easier, improving UNC's global reputation, and keeping bonfires a part of our tradition. Finally, Joe Levin Manning, whose platform includes making student government more transparent, more effective, and more efficient, and expanding relationships with administrators. The position of student body president isn't the only office up for grabs. The Carolina Athletic Association and senior class are each looking for new leaders too. For Carolina Athletics Association President, also known as CAA, Brandon Finch wants to revamp the student ticket system, and Tom Cole wants to implement group ticketing to athletic events. For senior class president and vice president, Tyler Aiken and Justin Webb want to connect to the senior class through social media like Facebook and Twitter. Liz Dean and Justin Tyler hope to create a weekly senior newsletter to keep students up to date. And Sean Ryan Kiernan and Elizabeth Monnier want to make the senior class website more up to date and reliable.
With student elections tomorrow, former UNC student body president Cal Cunningham has some advice for our future student leader.
Now campaigning across North Carolina for a seat in the U.S. Senate, Cunningham still uses lessons he learned during his term at Carolina. Jordan Harris has that story.
That's Cal Cunningham during his term from 1995 to 1996. As student body president, he challenged tuition hikes, changed Lenore Dining Hall, and made the U bus free for students. He explained what he learned from that experience as he transitions out of practicing law and back into politics. What are you using today that you learned from then?
I found that our system of government benefits from someone who's on the elected side reaching out to make sure that all voices are heard.
Do you have any advice for the future student body president?
I would say one, find ways to stay engaged with the student body, stay out there, continue to involve students in the decision making that's taking place. I would say second, don't forget that you're a student. It is such a whirlwind.
We could know who's going to be in the middle of that whirlwind as early as Tuesday night if one of the 6 candidates gets a majority of the votes, thereby avoiding a runoff. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jordan Harris, Carolina Week.
We'll find out tomorrow which UNC candidate will have the opportunity to follow Cunningham's advice as the new leader of our student body.
Not all children have the opportunity to get a great education, and it's easy to forget just how lucky we are.
We'll explain how a student group at UNC is helping to make education more accessible in developing countries after the break.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
No es suficiente soñar y tener buenas notas para ir a la universidad. Hay ciertos pasos que debes tomar, como encontrar a alguien que te pueda ayudar. Es el primer paso y el más importante. Para los pasos que siguen, visita ayudameair.org.
A UNC student group is doing its part to ensure students a world away get a shot at education. Elizabeth Lamb is in the studio with more. Elizabeth?
Andrea, the group is Students for Students International, which currently sponsors 35 students. Members stay in touch with former scholars more than 8,000 miles away.
Anheimer spends much of her day on classwork, but she's just as devoted to another cause as executive director of S4SI. Their work sponsors secondary school for students in Tanzania. Former scholar and Zimbabwe native Francis Katiano works as a consultant in New Zealand, and he says accessing education can make or break a student's future.
So for those who afford it, they can proceed. For those that cannot afford it, they may never go to school.
And while Katiano works hard at his job in New Zealand, S4SI is hard at work here in Chapel Hill making plans and raising money, like the group's latest fundraiser using a milk tea recipe straight from Tanzania. Katiano says rampant HIV and traditional gender roles can hold you back, and that's why working in the fields is a practical option. And that could have easily been Katiano's fate had it not been for S4SI. Already burdened with debt, Catiano says when S4SI contacted him and offered a scholarship,
it was like some light is just come in through in the right moment, and I was so happy.
women hear there's no need for an education, and family life often keeps women out of the workforce.
If he sees that you're proceeding with education, the next thing he does, he makes you pregnant. So you have a year or so, 2 years to take care of the kids. Then he gives you a second kid.
But because of Gangenheimer's travels this summer to Tanzania to visit the scholars, she knows the organization will continue to thrive in Chapel Hill and Tanzania.
It works hard year-round to raise money for secondary schools.
Elizabeth, who does S4SI primarily look to sponsor?
Well, Andrea, S4SI now sponsors women only because they represent the nearly 70% of the world's youth who aren't in school.
That's Elizabeth Lamb live in the studio. Thanks, Elizabeth.
On Super Bowl Sunday, many viewers actually look forward to watching commercials. Here are some of the top 5 commercials from last night's game, courtesy of USA Today. At number 5, Coca-Cola's Sleepwalker commercial goes through the rough terrain. Number 4, Anheuser-Busch, Clydesdale and the Longhorn Are Friends commercial. Number 3, Bud Light's Man Builds Beer Can House commercial. At number 2, Doritos with bark collar. And the best Super Bowl commercial from 2010 came from Snickers. Take a look.
Mike, what is your deal, man?
Come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby. Use Snickers. Better?
Better.
Now, Snickers has to sell a lot of candy bars to pay for that commercial. The worst commercial of the evening was Skechers' second airing of the Shape Up shoe. There was one spot viewers didn't see because of CBS rejecting the commercial for the gay dating site Man Crunch. In the commercial, 2 male sports fans are watching a game and end up kissing after sharing a special moment. Carolina students had different reactions to the commercial.
If it was a female kissing another female, I don't feel like that would have been banned either. It's just the fact that in our society, it's still really taboo for 2 guys to kiss.
I thought it was pretty stupid. Just in general, it was stupid, and it kind of sounded like a gay cereal.
CBS said the commercial wasn't within the network's broadcast standards for the Super Bowl.
Some students on campus are buzzing about a Sunday article in the New York Times. The author of the article profiled UNC in a story about the gender ratio on college campuses. The writer, Alex Williams, features UNC, where our ratio of women to men is a noticeable 60-40. The interviewees say this makes it difficult to find and cultivate relationships on campus. Many students aren't happy about how the article portrayed Carolina students, especially the women.
I was kind of put off by it. I mean, just as a reputation for our school, it just seemed like Carolina is a big men's playground, and they have their choice of women.
They asked the typical college girl that would be an American Pie type college scene, and they talked to the typical guy, but they didn't talk to, someone who represented Carolina fully.
To read the article for yourself, please visit our website at carolinaweek.org for a link. Now, Chris, I want to know when this winter weather is going away.
Well, it was certainly sunny this morning, but the temperatures were still pretty cold. Dan McKimmy's here to tell us what we can expect for the rest of the week. Danny?
Yeah, it was very cold out there, but some students ventured the brave and ventured the cold and went outside, walked around to classes, or perhaps just enjoyed the sunshine. But we're expecting some big changes ahead. Coming up after the break, I'll let you know what we're expecting and when we'll see the sunshine again.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. How do you know him?
Come on, Donovan, do it like I taught you. Love the new tattoo, Sarah. Let's go!
Dude, what? Dude, that's Sarah. The girl in the pink shirt. That's the girl I was telling you about.
Oh, that's Sarah?
Theater 2 on your left. Hey, Sarah. What color underwear today?
Hey, Sarah. So when are you going to post something new?
Anything you post online, anyone can see. Family, friends.
See you later, Sarah.
Even not so friendly people. Think before you post.
Any questions?
What kind of service plan does this come with?
Unlimited.
Can I keep my same phone number?
Absolutely.
How do I change the ringtone?
Just hook it up to your computer.
Does it have a camera? What's the warranty? Does it come in silver? Can I put my party shuffle on this? Does it have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack? You sell a lot of these?
It's the one I carry.
You ever get those phantom vibrations in your pocket?
Any questions?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm student weathercaster Dan McKinney with your weather plans for the week ahead. Well, I hope you had a chance to enjoy that sunshine today because the clouds are rolling in and we're expecting the rain to return here in Chapel Hill. In fact, as soon as tomorrow we could expect to see some rain during the afternoon, but it won't be here for long. In fact, by about Wednesday, we'll begin to see some clearing, but it's going to be pretty windy. I'll have more on that in just a second. Let's take a look at the current satellite across the area, and you'll notice that across the western portions of the state, we do have some cloud cover, but off towards the east where we're at, it's relatively clear. In fact, out towards the east coast, there's not a cloud in the sky. Now, all these clouds from the west will be building in over the next several hours, and that's ahead of a storm system. Now, if we take a look at the current surface map, we'll see that across North Carolina, it's relatively clear, and we have this area of high pressure right around Mississippi and Alabama. That's going to continue to move towards us over the next 24 hours. And in behind it is actually our next weather maker, and it's this area of low pressure down here in Texas. Now, as we go into tomorrow, you'll notice that all this rain begins to move towards us, and this is at Tuesday morning. Now, you'll notice there's no showers here in Chapel Hill Tuesday morning, so I think if you have any morning classes or need to drive around in the morning, you'll be okay. But during the afternoon is when we'll see the rain begin to creep into the area. Now, there might be a chance we even see some wintry precip Tuesday early in the afternoon. You notice that there's some blue right along the mountains here. That's actually going to be coming towards us Tuesday afternoon. It may start off as some snow, maybe mixed with rain, but then it'll turn over to all rain by the middle of the afternoon. So I don't think we're going to see a wintry pileup of any snow or ice, but it's going to be a cold day and a very wet rain. Now, if you're going to be, we're talking about precip totals across the area of at least a half an inch. The yellow represents areas of 0.5 inches or greater, and off towards the west, you notice that there's a little bit darker colors, so it is going to be raining a little bit more out there. So just keep that in mind if you're heading out Tuesday afternoon. Now, Wednesday, it's going to be clearing out, and the big game's coming on. Of course, you guys know about Duke coming to town on Wednesday. Tip-off's at 9 p.m. Temperatures at tip-off about 32 degrees. By about halftime, we're down to 30. Mostly clear skies by post-game. So we're talking about temperatures in the upper 20s when you leave the stadium, so you want to have that jacket with you, but we won't be dealing with any sort of rain at all. Now, tonight across the area, we're talking about mostly cloudy skies and cool conditions. You'll notice temperatures are going to be pretty chilly. Upper 20s towards the Triad, around 30 in the Triangle, and lower 30s across the Sandhill and Coast. And then tomorrow afternoon, as we go through the day, there's going to be a lot of clouds and rain. And I put this little snowflake in there just to show we could see some wintry precip at the start of the day, but then it's going to turn over all over the rain by the end of the day. Temperatures generally in the upper 30s to lower 40s across the board. The 5-day forecast shows you that Tuesday will be the wettest day of the week, and then by about Wednesday we begin to clear out, and Thursday looks nice as well. And then we'll see the clouds build back in here on Friday, but you notice temperatures are well below average throughout the entire week. And then on Saturday we see the clouds return, and we could even be talking about seeing some snow on Saturday. Right now most of the models have a lot of the precipitation staying to the south of us, but if we see the precip crawl up to the north, we could be dealing with some snow on Saturday. So something to keep in mind.
All right, thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Well, the threat of this wintry weather can't keep avid runners from supporting a good cause. Kappa Kappa Gamma had the 11th annual Tar Heel Trot Saturday morning. All race proceeds will go to Friends for an earlier breast cancer test. 88 people ran in the event, and most were bundled up because of the cold weather. Kappa Kappa Gamma sisters cheered as runners raced toward the finish line. Winners of the Tar Heel Trot received prizes from sponsors that included the Biltmore Estate, R&R Grill, and the Carolina Inn. Coming up, last week, oh my goodness, well, Roy Williams, I mean, what is going on with sports?
Justin, another rough weekend for the basketball team. We got the big game coming up, but these boys got to turn it around, Justin.
No, without a doubt, Chris. You know, the team is still looking for answers. They thought that they had seen everything. Last week, Coach Roy Williams said that it couldn't get any worse for the basketball team. Coming up in sports, then came a trip to Maryland.
Starts with a healthy lifestyle. Good nutrition and physical activity are fuel for your child's mind and body.
Attaboy, Pinot.
And the food pyramid will help you find the right balance. Just remember, every color, every day.
Nothing can stop me now.
Eat right.
Here's an apple.
Be active.
Come on, I'll race you home.
Make it balance.
This calls for a celebration.
A healthy lifestyle can lead to great things for your child. Visit mypyramid.gov to learn more.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. Would you dream about something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Ativa and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
Welcome to sports. I'm Justin Page. Fans are questioning Roy Williams' coaching tactics more than ever before. After a 2-5 start in ACC play, UNC went into Maryland Sunday, still looking for answers. After a 21-point loss to the Terps on Sunday, the Heels' chances at getting into the NCAA tournament are slim and none. Heck, at this rate, they might not even make the NIT. Carolina hasn't come close to shutting down a three-point shooter, and the offense has been hot and cold at best, with veterans like Marcus Ginyard having some good stretches, but not enough of them. No matter how much the Heels score in the remaining games, they're going to have to do a better job on defense, or they might face the shame of a losing record. This is already the most disappointing squad in the Roy Williams era. John Lennon and Paul McCartney said it best, "I get by with a little help from my friends." Reporter Nick King says 3 seniors from the track and field team understand the message.
Mateo Sosa, Daniel Keller, and Matt Villamain are 3 of the premier athletes at UNC. They're decathletes on the track and field team, 3 of the best in the ACC. Competing in the decathlon requires strength for shot put and javelin, speed for all the running and hurdle events, as well as agility for the high jump and the pole vault. Track coach Dennis Craddock says the 3 guys balance their talents and each other.
Certain ones have certain qualities that the others don't have, and so they can kind of take up the slack a little bit.
It's easier to pick up a training partner when he's also a friend.
I look forward to practice every day because I know it's going to be fun and I know they're going to push me.
Diverse backgrounds only brought them closer. Sosa, who's from France, describes his English verbal skills 3 years ago as
Me, Mateo, what's your name?
Keller and Villamain quickly made him comfortable.
Making sure that he made it to practice on time. He knew where the dining halls were and helping him buy notebooks.
Teaching Sosa led to teaching 13-year-olds.
Screen up there for you. You have to fight through.
A lot of things with basketball, there's very technical skills, and same with track.
Villamain is the silent leader. Keller,
he's definitely the more talkative one as the coach, that's for sure.
Good passes, guys. Jesse, step out on. Yeah. Look inside. Slow down. There we go.
Sosa isn't surprised by their coaching abilities.
They were pretty good with me, and I wasn't the easiest person to help.
As their careers as UNC decathletes come to a close, these 3 still plan to be active and have fun. That's just what friends do. In Chapel Hill, I'm Nick King, Carolina Week Sports.
Sosa will train to compete in the Olympics after graduation. Keller and Villamain plan to visit him in France. The swimming and diving teams are looking toward the conference meet after wrapping up a successful regular season. Friday night was senior night at Corey Natatorium. The seniors competed in their last regular season home meet against ACC rival NC State. Senior Jason McLaughlin finished the 200-yard butterfly with a win and a season-best time. You know he's ready for the conference meet. Good night for the Heels. Both the women's and the men's teams beat the Wolfpack. Senior Allison Clemens reflects on her 4 years at Carolina.
It's just really rewarding to go out with such a great senior class and with such a great team, and just to leave this team with just such great people on it.
The women's tennis team is breezing through its early season schedule, and coach Brian Calbus is loving the success. But on Saturday afternoon against Elon, the number 11 Tar Heels watched as the doubles pairing of Jocelyn Friend and Haley Hem lost. The Heels rallied in singles play, though, with aces and great forehands like this one. Boom! from Katrina Sang. Her teammates followed suit as UNC defeated Elon 7-love. When Carlisle Cup points are on the line, it's a big deal. And the UNC men's fencing team traveled to Duke on Saturday to face the Blue Devils along with Penn State, Brandeis, and Air Force. Against the Devils, Crazy Towel guy in attendance, he's having a good time. UNC not so much. They go just 1-3 on the day. Here's UNC epee David Legee on the far side taking on Penn State. Watch this, nifty stab there by Legee. The Tar Heels would have better luck against Brandeis later on. Eric Shea wins this bout in overtime. Got him. Unfortunately, Coach Ron Miller's Tar Heels couldn't keep the momentum going through the Duke match. The Devils grab a half point in the Carlisle Cup standings. And obviously another big Carlisle Cup event Wednesday night, the basketball game. We'll see if the Heels can get the job done.
We can get it. Thank you, Justin.
That's right. Thanks, Justin.
Now, I don't know about the basketball team, but for me, donuts is the breakfast of champions.
But not normally in the middle of a 4-mile run. This is definitely a case of too much of a good thing.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours? 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice? 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool, really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately, because time lost is brain lost.
Here's a competition Duke, State, and Carolina students can all enjoy together.
Run 2 miles, eat a dozen donuts, and run another 2 miles. Bethany Tuggle says one word describes it. Sweet.
What would bring thousands of people out at 8:30 on a Saturday morning in freezing cold temperatures? The Krispy Kreme Challenge, of course. Music blared and runners got pumped as they waited for the race to begin. Some were concerned about possible complications.
It's gonna be hard to puke through these little holes here.
Others were just trying to stay warm in their not-so-traditional race apparel. As the signal to start neared, the excitement built. And they were off, motivated by what was waiting for them just 2 miles away. Dozens of volunteers were on hand to pass out the donuts and direct the crowds.
And the street to exit!
As the area outside the Krispy Kreme quickly filled with people gorging on donut after donut after donut. Some had strategies, but for many the strategy was just to finish, which proved to be a struggle for some who looked glazed over as they neared the end of their 2,400-calorie morning meal.
Oh my God, it hurts so bad.
Not everybody finished all 12 donuts, but many pushed through the pain and prevailed. And there was plenty of evidence to prove it.
It looks like a donut mayhem here, as thousands of people have stuffed their faces with a dozen donuts each and are now on their way to the finish line.
Crowds waited at the finish line to cheer on the runners as they completed the challenge.
There you go, finish!
And the racers did finish strong, even if it was harder than before devouring a dozen donuts.
Eating the donuts and then trying to run back. It kills you. I don't know if I want to do this again next year.
At the Krispy Kreme Challenge 2010, I'm Bethany Tuggle, Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time. Have a good night.